Hi, back, fellas. All right, our man Josh Ryback, Gene Ramirez. Everybody's on. Awesome. How you guys doing?
Good. How are
Good,
you?
good, good, my brother.
All right. Tried to go a little earlier today because Josh has to be in Bakersfield at 3 a.m. So, but like a true trooper, I mean, unless you have farmers market to go to, I guess you don't have an excuse. So, I'm gonna go get waxed. Anyhow,
Yep.
Uh, so let's get to it, fellas. This weekend was kind of a busy weekend down in SoCal for sure. A lot of tournaments. It's kind of neat to see because before it used to be one girls tournament or one tournament that would have girls, a real girls event. But now this weekend we had our event in Santa Ana. Josh had his tournament like 10 minutes down the road at Esperanza. Josh pulled 70 to 80 kids, 80 girls, not to mention the 1,000 kids that he had. Uh, in his gym, and then I pulled like 80 kids, some of that 80, 90 kids. So that's good. That's good for girls wrestling overall. It's good to see that.
And,
Even
and I will say we got girls out of there about 2 o'clock, 2:30. There was a lot of upset parents and people, but I told them I'm running it. There's no reason for girls to sit around all day. We had 400 kids,
yeah,
so
Wow.
and people got mad, but the girls run so much quicker, more efficiently. They listen to when their name is called. They show up when they're supposed to. I'm not calling 70,000 times like I am with boys, especially frosh soft boys.
oh gosh, yeah, no, I'd eat my hat if I had to sit it there all day. But you guys do like a start time too for them. I think it helps because I mean, why sit there all day if you know you're not going to wrestle till a certain time? It's easier to just get there and get it done. So for us, it's easy. We just do girls most of the time. So we had boys duels too, um, but the girls ran pretty good. We were out of there by 1:30, wrapped up, packed up, everything. Tim Byers does a great job. Coach Glab does a great job. Whole staff at Santa Ana does a good job. Like, dude, we walked in, it was beautiful. They had all the mats done, dude. Electronic scoreboards. It was like, dang, this is a nice spot. So I could see
Nice.
he's used to running it. So it was good. Do you guys have any good matchups at your tournament, Josh? That kind of stuck out to you?
Yeah, we had quite a few. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I know one of the Martinez sisters, I always get them confused, wrestled one of the Martinez twins, wrestled one of the Sudol twins from Yorba Linda. I don't know which one is which, though. They wrestled. That was a good little match. They were going good for a while. And then Martinez caught her on her back. Put her on her back
Okay.
and kept her there.
I was gonna say, was it a pancake or did she like run a bar on her? Like
Come on, it's Martinez. It's an armbar.
sort of arm bar, yeah. So
It's the Ayala way.
We had, and I'm horrible with names, especially after as tired as I am, but the girl helped me out with her name. She was a stud. She wrestled boys and girls. The girl from La Costa Canyon that wrestled for Team Pennsylvania, she was
yeah,
there.
yeah. I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but yeah. But she did good against the girls and the boys. What way was she going?
I'm going to say about 160-ish, I think. 150, 160. It was up there.
Okay.
Who else? There was a couple. I think a girl from Barstow came. A girl from Brawley came. We had a lot of Orange County.
Barreto had a pretty good match.
Yeah, Brado was there. I think she might have wrestled the other Martinez.
I think there was somebody else that I heard. I don't remember because I know I talked to Bullock's dad, and he was telling me about kind of the weight classes and stuff like that. That like his daughter took third in the weight. Who was the other girl? I forget the other girl. Anyhow, so that's good. So you guys had some studs coming through. We had a couple. Savannah Cadu and Heaven Jerez. I think they went 3-2.
Nice.
And then that's takedown match 3-2. So that was fun. Bowers had some tough girls coming up. I think Danny was supposed to show up, but she got sick. So there's that. But then we had Ramirez. Yeah, your girl Angela showed up. and she had went 5-0. Only tough match only close match she had was with Salapaga from Paramount, which I think during the CIF.
Always.
They're both so damn strong, and they're like, and Angela's just a hammer, dude. She's
last year, she owned the series, the girl from Paramount. She owned it last year. We were 1-1 in the last one where it counted. That's where we took the loss, and I think we only took the loss by 1 point.
Yeah, no, I know it was a tough match. It was a real tough match, and because I think at Carter, because you guys beat her, and then you guys wrestled her twice at Carter, right? Or not Carter, Corona. Sorry, Corona. Yeah, so that
Corona.
Yeah. So that was a fun match. Then you had Devrix was there from Corona too, which was cool. Yeah. She didn't want to wrestle.
Did you see the weight? Did you see her weight though?
I did. Yeah, I have her weight. Because I have the weighing sheets. But yeah, she wasn't super comfortable with wrestling up at all because she fell in that 170, and then so she's a little slimmer than last year. But she didn't feel comfortable wrestling 89 and heavyweight because that's kind of the champions pool. The winners wrestle each other. And then at 105, dude, we had like 12 girls in the round robin, so we had to split it. And then those girls wrestled out, and then the top ones met. Golden Valley had a real tough girl. Santa Ana had a tough girl, so they met in the finals. And then Amber Perkins wrestles for Somar, but she lives in Reno. She came down and she won the champions pool in that one. Yeah, that was pretty good. And then, like I said, Heaven and Kidu wrestled, but then Kidu went on to win the champions pool there. And then I think Shamir Cooper won the fourth champions pool that we had, third one. So that's good. And then we'll have one more before we have the draft for the fantasy duel, so that'll be fun. But yeah, I mean, overall, some good stuff. But Josh, you had some celebrities at your tournament.
We did.
We
had the celebrity. We actually had Helen Marulis come. She came. It was planned, but we didn't know exactly what time. About 10 o'clock, she came. We kind of stopped all the mats. She gave a little, maybe 2-minute little speech. Congratulating everybody, encouraging everybody. She started here. You guys can do it too. Little speech and a little rah-rah speech. Yep. And then we also had the Marine Corps people came to our tournament too. They've been kind of like showing an interest in Orange County wrestling, giving us some support. So that was kind of neat, especially since they're doing wrestling on a national level.
Yeah.
They came by.
Josh, can I ask you something?
Sure.
So how do you go about getting someone like that to show up, like Helen to show up?
Cash is money. No, I'm just kidding.
Cream, baby, cream. Cash rules everything.
No, we have a relationship with their
Orange County.
Yeah, one of the partners in the training lab, Coach Calavita, his son, his little boys wrestle in our kids club, and his son wrestles on our high school team. So, and he trains a lot of our athletes for strength and conditioning and diet stuff. So we have that, and she trains there at the training lab now, both, working out and wrestling. So it was just, she's living 5 minutes from the school, which is awesome.
So do you guys pay Valentine for that time, or what do you do?
We have yet to cut a check to Valentina for anything.
Okay. No. And then she's getting ready for the qualifier, but she seems like she's got a lot of stuff she's got going on in her plate. She's doing camps, she's doing our clinics, and she's doing this. And I mean, not that it's a bad thing, but you don't typically see that. Usually the athletes kind of buckle down, kind of get in their zone or whatever. But I think it's good to see her out there showing like, hey, I'm not training 24/7. I can,
Yeah, but she kind of is. I mean, like, even there was I wasn't there today. Well, we're skipping, but there's the Helen Clinic today, which was like sold out to the brim. It was at the training lab from like 9 to noon today. Literally, they took a whole nother full-size wrestling mat. They have about two mats, maybe a mat and a half worth of big training space. They took it's a good 2 mats full. Like, it's bigger than our wrestling room by a lot. And then they had another mat outside under like a covered area, partially covered outside, and it was full. Like, I mean, people were showing up and they were turning them away. Like they said, you could watch, but you can't wrestle. It was pretty neat, but
that's pretty cool because that's Dillashaw's place, right? Like, I mean,
yeah, that's Dillashaw, Archuleta, Coach Calavita. There's, I think Mark Munoz has they're all kind of.
That's great. I mean, they're doing really good things for their community. Like that's super. That's really good stuff. You know.
And when you think like Helen Drew, I'm gonna just take a stab at it. 80 to 100 girls there, maybe 80, maybe closer to 80. And you got David Taylor, who's arguably the best clinician in the U.S. as far as I'm concerned. Got 45, 50. I mean, it might have been a weekend, maybe. You know, other things were happening. You never know why. But, I mean, at this clinic, there was probably 80% girls, 20% boys. There was a lot of boys showing up, which is, you know, a little odd for me to see. But you had, you know, state placer boys showing up.
I mean, that's good. I mean, it's respectful. You know what I mean? Like, that's respect. You know, you respect the fact that she's an Olympic champ. You don't put that guard up that it's a female Olympic champ. You know, you actually go and see that she's got something for you to learn, or even just give her the opportunity to show you something and take something away, maybe something, a little tweak or something. That's good. I mean, overall for those guys to show up is good. And it's good for Helen too, because I mean, hey, those guys are going to go back and say, hey, look, I learned some stuff there. You know, next time you might have I mean, it's kind of tough for the girls because I mean, what happens if they realize like, yeah, this girl can really coach, and then start sliding over, and that 10%, 20% is now 40, 50% boys and girls. So, but it's good overall, I think, for the sport. I mean, I know like a couple times in the beginning, it was just really trying to get like national champs to come out and do clinics, and especially in LA when I was working in LA, that was always big for us to try to get like Alex Gomez to come out, stuff like that. So now it's like for Lorraine to bring in Olympic champ, Helen, you know, to come in. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But and Gene, what did you have going on this weekend? You had
we had our coaches in our Los Angeles City section, the Eagle Rock High School. It's pretty good, man. I gotta say, it's no drama, no real arguing. Just having a good time, going through everything that we need to go through, all the CYA stuff that they put upon you. But we had us there. There are a lot of coaches that know what they're doing already. So for some of us, bars, because we already know how to do the paperwork and what needs to get done throughout the season. We got about a good 32 schools total. I think we're at somewhere about 22 schools with girls programs in general, period. I shouldn't say girls programs. But they, every year new schools are coming out saying, hey, I got 2 new girls, and then we're always talking to them about, if they need help, whether finding tournaments or strategies, best practices, those type of things. But it went pretty well, man. We got in there and out fast.
Oh, okay.
So, Gene, let me ask you a question.
Go for it.
You have 22 girls schools with girls on them?
With girls on the team.
Girls. And then how many did you guys do you add any state qualifiers this year? Or are you still at 2?
As of right now, we're still at 2. They're having their meeting, I think, tomorrow. I don't know where, it's in cyberspace or something like that. They said like a webinar, and we might know something by Tuesday if we get the 3rd one. But right now we're under the assumption that we have 2.
Well, I know that our friend over at SoCal Girl Wrestler had posted up, I guess, the booklet. I don't know if it's a blue book or what, and it showed LA City with 3. So, which for a long time,
it added 2 more to Central, and I think 1 more to Sac Joaquin, 1 more to a couple. Everybody got more except Southern section, but we only have like 500 schools.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah. One of those things that I even spoke up and I said, listen, guys, it's not official. Because some of the coaches were like, no, we were told 3, it's online and everything like that. But, we're like, yeah, because everything on the internet is true. So once the official statement comes out and gets sent to our section, then we'll know for sure.
Yeah, don't catch your chickens before they hatch. Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Having coached in the city section, the red tape you guys got to deal with is insane. I mean, it's insane.
Ugh.
Like Josh, for you to be able to run a club in the off season, what do you got to do?
Us?
Yeah.
We need to have we have to have an insurance policy with the district covering like $1 million general liability. And I think they try to charge us some sort of like energy fee and cleaning fee and stuff like that. But I don't know how that ended up the last discussion we had. We fought back on it a little bit.
So Ramirez, for you to have a club in the off season, what do you got to do?
Insurance. We have to go through 3 departments. We have to go through facilities, risk management, and athletics. So it's a 9-page application that we have to fill out. We have to get all the signatures from the principal. It has no high school kids in it. Let's say it was a middle school to elementary school club, then they start charging us kind of per head for the insurance and everything like that. So we're talking probably like about, if you have a really good size group of kids and stuff like that, you're looking for just a month, maybe about $1,200.
So
a month?
Mm-hmm.
A month.
Oh, they're really trying to keep kids off the street in LA City section. They're doing a good job so far.
Yeah. And then not only that, but when you start, you would think, Josh, right? I mean, in most cases, when you have a successful program, the school would kind of start shifting, right? Like they would start supporting. Let's say Esperanza brought in, I don't know, 2 girls that took 3rd in the nation. Let's just say, okay, maybe they weren't champs, but I don't know, just pulling out of a hat. 2 girls took 3rd in the nation, right? And they're coming back the next year, okay? And like the school would kind of look forward to that, right? That would be a good thing, good publicity for the school, a lot of things, right?
Well, let's put it this way: a 5-year program that all of a sudden became a top 5 program in their section, actually top 3. Takes a couple girls to the CIF state championship and ends up in 22nd place. Gets 1 in the finals for the CIF championships. Then has that same one take 1st in folk. The other girl also took 1st in folk, USA. And then she takes 3rd in freestyle. And then the other one takes 1st in California in freestyle. And then they both take 3rd at the national level. And then you're told that you don't get 6th period wrestling for them anymore. I think that's kind of tough.
I mean, when do you guys practice, Josh? You guys start at 6th period? Or you guys start after school?
We start at 4 p.m.
4 p.m. And that's during season too?
That's during season 4 to 6, except for Fridays 2 to 4. But it's because none of us, we're all walk-ons. No, we don't have anybody on staff at the school. So for us to all balance work and trying to get there to coach, we used to try to do it after school, but it was just, we're always late and, kids are hanging around when they're not supposed to. So now we try to send them to the library for 2 to 4. And the good kids go to the library and do it.
Christ, what the hell was that?
I gotta say it. Can I say it? Can I say it? Who let the dogs out?
Right. Jake did.
Jake did. From State Farm.
Damn it, Jake from State Farm.
Yeah. No, that's always like, I ran into a similar situation at Panorama. The principal who was all on board in the beginning, you start getting success and then things just start getting cut out slowly but surely.
And we actually asked for a 6 period study hall, but the answer we got was, well, who's going to do it?
Yeah.
And our question was, no, that's your guys' job to figure out who's going to do it, not our job. You're the administrators. So we have a new principal that's very supportive for the last couple of years. We're probably going to ask again to see if we can get a 6-period study hall, but it's going to take somebody that, I don't know, to get paid. Everyone wants to get paid. Except coaches.
Well, because I was telling my principal when I was at Panorama, I said, listen, we got these kids, they're first generation immigrant kids. You know, they got a lot of hurdles to go over. We finally got them on board, got the family on board. In our second year, we had 2 placers with girls who never wrestled before. We had 100% graduation of scholarship rate because we were talking to all the colleges and stuff. And I said, look, can we just have a first period PE? I'll come in at 6. The girls will be done. Then they can take a shower. And then they can go off to class because it's easier to get a teacher to stay late than it is to get a teacher to come in early. And the principal told me directly, like, I'll tell you how to do your job. Don't tell me how to do my job. Yeah, stool, and pointed the door and just like basically you're done. And I was just like, at that moment, dude, I just realized like I'm done. Like I couldn't coach there anymore. It was just non-supportive. So those are kind of hurdles I think that people don't really get to see when they're dealing with the LA City section. Is that there's a lot more that kind of goes into it.
Well, even within our own section, there's schools that have different rules. You know, if I were to happen to get kicked out of a match, my whole team has to walk off. If you're a charter school, well, you have 4 other coaches, so you're gone, but your team gets to stay because you have 3 other schools. So that's one thing that's kind of like not fair. I don't have the power to change that, but I think I don't understand. Well, I'd love to hear the rationale of the person that said, hey, you guys get special rules and you guys don't. And I'd like to see who said that and why.
On the charter school thing, I don't think that they got special rules. You guys just have stupid rules. You know what I mean? Like, they're just like trying to get advancing. You're just not getting the funding and support that you guys really should. But that's stupid administrators and, you know, bureaucratic stuff that just punishes the kids, not, you know, they think they're punishing adults, but they're punishing kids.
Yeah. In our meeting, we also brought up the stipend that we get too, because it hasn't changed in many, many years. So that was one of the questions, and it's basically infused with the contract with the teachers as well. So when a teacher gets a pay raise, then, you know, a coach can see a pay raise. And if you guys just read the news and what's going on with our bargaining unit and our LAUSD, you know, not much is happening for us.
Yeah, but I don't know. I know other districts deal with it and stuff like that. I don't want to say like it's just LAUSD. It's not, but it's just I know from personal experience. Like I never had as hard of a time with having success as I did in LAUSD. And now those people are now gone. Like everybody that I had to deal with negatively are gone out of Panorama. The principal got nixed. The AD got nixed, and the AD put up a banner for his, I don't know if it's runner-up or maybe co-league champs, but didn't want to put up a banner for the girls that won the city section. It was like, we won the city, like we won our section. How do you not give us a banner? And just nothing. It was just like pulling teeth. So whatever. On with the next one. So you guys watch Pico last night?
Oh man, he looked good. He looked good. Fast.
If only he had just started out a little slower, right? Like actually, like I mean, the talk we would probably have then would be like off the charts. As it is, it's already huge, you know. And it's so funny because like his boxing coach, Dominic Valoria, I used to work at 24 Hour right there in La Habra as a trainer, and Dominic would come in and he'd kind of show us how to throw hands and stuff and hold mitts for us. And he was always a super cool guy, but he's a little guy too, like me, probably my size, maybe a little wider. But he was telling me when Aaron was coming in, like, hey, you hear this kid Aaron? And I was like, he's like a little kid. I'm still coaching high school. I don't know a whole lot. And he's like, this kid's freaking crazy. Like he's on it, dude. He bugs me. Like he's always at my door. He's like, it's awesome. You know, I wish I could get him just to box. His dad wants him to wrestle too and all this stuff. And then it's just so funny now. I could think back to when we had those conversations and now seeing Aaron where he is now, you know, and seeing him like riding his horses along the 604 stuff. It's just like, damn, all that stuff. That kid is a true Whittier kid, like 100%.
Yep.
And,
well, he's from the Pio Pico mansion. That's
right there.
That's his uncle or great uncle or great grandpa or something like that. So
yeah,
it's spread.
There. Yeah, it's still on Whittier in the 605. It's still there, but he still rides his horses right up there, and it's just crazy. It's crazy to see him, being that, that whole area like that, him. And then you have the Valencias that are from the same area, the La Mirada Whittier area. A lot of talent in that area. It's a lot of sports in that area, but those kids, man, just had something special. And watching Aaron now, you haven't even seen him wrestle yet. I mean, that's
no.
You haven't even seen him wrestle yet. He hasn't taken anybody to the ground. He's just put him on the ground, and the last couple were body shots before this one, which I think the ref should have stopped it a little sooner. I think that kid took more damage than he needed to.
Yeah, he kept knocking him out and waking him back up with the same punches.
Yeah, I mean, talk about killer instinct, right? Like, he just kept going until the ref stopped him. It was just like, all right, like, just crazy. I think I told you guys that rumor before, right? There was a certain national team member right around the World Cup that tried to take a swing at Aaron. Did I tell you that one, Josh? So right around the World Cup, and when Aaron got introduced, like as maybe being on the team and everything, I shot out over to watch him and the Valencias get a workout in and stuff with the team. And that's the first time I saw Snyder in person, Gwizdowski, and dude from Lehigh, the heavyweight. Gosh, don't make me disrespectful. That guy's an animal too. But yeah, I saw those guys there. And then we go over to the World Cup, and I see Metcalf. Metcalf has a shiner. And I asked my buddy, I said, dude, Metcalf's got a shiner. He's like, dude, did you hear what happened? I was like, no. Like, this is all rumor, by the way. Totally rumor. I'm just going to preface that it was a rumor. Okay, but this was right around the time when Pico and Metcalf met up in Aragon to go wrestle there. That's kind of like why there was some heat, because I guess they're drilling, and Iowa guys are physical. Pico's never want to shy away from being physical. And again, this is all rumor. But you know how Pico is with his hands. Well, Metcalf didn't really appreciate it. Pushes Pico off. We're just drilling. Pico's like, okay. Metcalf's shutting him down, not really letting him drill. Pico's like, okay. And then Metcalf's putting it on him. And Pico starts doing the same. Metcalf gets upset. Takes a swing. Pico slips and returns. And then, yeah. So, no mark from a high school kid. But, yeah. That was a crazy rumor I had heard. I wish I could validate that, But
so
yeah.
he got kicked in the face by Caldwell and punched by Pico.
That Caldwell one, I still think that was, yeah. I'm still side with Caldwell on that one. If I won a national championship over the Unstoppable and I headlocked him, you bet your ass I'm gonna celebrate.
Julia tweeted that thing out for a minute.
Oh, dude, Julia was like she's heated on that. Yeah, she's like, yeah, she's standing by her boy. So yeah, but she was hot on that one for a while. So yeah, and this weekend you had the Helen Camp today, which seemed like Josh obviously said was a success. And then I saw some open rooms too. I saw Corona had an open room today. Some photo ops there. I don't know. Do you guys usually practice on the weekends?
If there's an open room,
I'm gonna say
somewhere.
I haven't done a Sunday in a while.
Yeah, not during season. Off seasons, I remember you and we did a couple of things on a Saturday out there at Monroe. But for the most part, no.
So
what's up?
I said no. I mean with the kids.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, no, I never really did anything on a Sunday usually. I mean, if I ever did, it was like when my daughter was in high school and we had like Hammer staying at our house. Like, so we had like Brazil Marquez, Audrey Morehouse, Kat Perez. They would stay over for the weekend, and the girls would get like, 2 days in and stuff like that. It was always fun. It's kind of cool to see those girls win, Fargo titles and stuff and place high, and then look back at pictures. You're like, oh my God, those kids are staying at our house and super cool people.
Josh, do they let you practice on a Sunday at your school?
No, we don't do anything at our school, but we'll go to like Training Lab might have an open room, or Rain, or a lot of the clubs will have just open room stuff. Our school, well, we're supposed to be during school hours or during curriculum type stuff. That's when we go. We don't break any rules. We follow the rules.
You don't do any weightlifting at random hours or anything, or none of that.
No, no, we don't at all.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean,
I think the clubway is the only way to go about it, right?
Yeah, it has to be through the club. It can't be like an official team practice ever on Sunday. But I think the clubway is the way you gotta get some extra workouts in before season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that the USA Wrestling had posted, not USA, Cal USA Wrestling had posted up what's going on like this coming weekend for their association stuff, and I saw like one of the places is having something on a Sunday, so they're having competition, but I think it might be like schoolboy age and that stuff. No, I don't know if I saw high school age divisions up there.
Yeah, we do during once season starts. That's our tournament. Our fundraiser tournaments are on Sunday in Orange County.
That's how typically, like, if we have to avoid, because we try to go around USA Wrestling and stuff like that. So we'll go on a Sunday if we have to go on a weekend, the same weekend. We'll go on a Sunday to avoid it on the off season. But during the season, I don't usually do a whole lot for that. But what do you guys know about the AWL? I mean,
just all I know is when we've talked about the draft stuff. You know that they're picking players. I mean wrestlers, players.
Yeah, they were on a show with Jason, I believe, Bryant.
Uh-huh.
I say they, like everyone knows. Andy Barth and Wayne Boyd were actually on separately talking about AWL. It sounds like, I don't know, Dake and Taylor get to be the team captains, and they're going to pick teams to start off with too.
That's the thing that kind of like, it's kind of a trip. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily a draft as it is just picking teams. And here's what I mean by that.
Yeah, I mean, so Dake's gonna choose Oliver. He's gonna choose all the Cornell guys. Taylor's gonna choose all the Penn State guys, and then the other guys are gonna get left over.
Yeah, like, so that's what I was gonna say. Because, like, for instance, we've been doing our draft duels for several years back. We have like just the brackets, and the coaches can draft anybody in the brackets. And so, but there's multiple girls. It seems like with this, it's basically 2 guys per weight, and they're just picking, like, okay, I want this guy, and then you get that guy or whatever. So I don't know if it's necessarily a draft so much as it is just picking. You know what I mean? It's like odds and evens, I guess. You know. So, but I mean, it's cool. I'm all for it. It looks like they got you got Oliver and Molinaro in there. You have Meredith's in there too. I don't know who's going on the other side of Meredith. Is it Kolchiski? I think it is. And then I don't know if they're the same weight. I don't know, but I just saw Kolchiski also signed in.
But he just transferred from Wisconsin to.
Yeah.
From Wisconsin to Iowa, or Wisconsin to.
Yeah, something like
Nebraska,
that.
some other RTC, which was kind of weird because Astrachan just got there and now he left. I mean, he was like the only sponsored dude from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Probably ask. And then I saw Darren here just signed on. So yeah, I mean, it just, like I said, it looks like it's just, you know, odds and evens, you know, and it's just 2 guys per weight, and you pick who you want. So I don't know. What team would you rather be on? Team Dake or Team Taylor?
Taylor.
I like the claw, so I'll go Dake.
Interesting.
I like the way he rides with that claw.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say your joke.
So
that was a volleyball.
Yeah, easy way up there. Do
you think, Ramos? Do you think that if this comes to fruition and it all starts happening and it's getting some decent ratings, you think they'll add the women?
No.
They talked about it. They already wanted.
I don't think it'll, like. I mean, you'd like to think that it's going to catch on, but
they already have it. They already have it. It's called India Wrestling League.
Right.
No,
I
but
saw that on the Indian one. Yeah.
that's in India. In the U.S. though, like Agon and the other ones that have tried it weren't super supported. You know what I'm saying? So you can only, I mean, unless you have $1 billion, you really can't just do things forever and just, and just keep spending money. So I would like it. Don't, I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Try to do what I could to try to help athletes as much as I could. We all do, I think. And if it gets some money, great. If it keeps them in the sport longer, great. If it keeps their training, great. I'm all for it. But I don't think it's necessarily with the structure. I don't. It's still going to be the same product. It's great that they like the preface before that is great. The marketing, I like the marketing a lot. Would like to see a little bit more, not just the images, but actual like video put together a little bit better of who they're recruiting into it. But I just don't see it taking off. It's the same product, maybe because it's freestyle. Because I think the Agon was folk style, and that's where it got a little bit boring.
Well, it wasn't even folk style. It was like a mix of freestyle, folk style. It was like Freco without the Greco.
So I think just
on the marketing note, though, as far as I'm concerned, it's only on Twitter. That's the only place they're marketing. I understand that's like a big deal. I have Twitter. I go on it once in a while. I don't like that only hitting Twitter. I can't believe they're not hitting Facebook, hitting Instagram, whatever. They have a Facebook page. They have an Instagram page, but I'm not seeing much, advertising and information coming out.
Yeah. And that's, we got some things we're going to start trying to do that aren't necessarily Somar. They're just wrestling stuff. Because we want to promote the sport as much as possible. But yeah, you're right. I think that they need to do a little bit more outside. I think if it's going to catch on, you gotta pay for TV spot. Just is what it is. If you want to, the problem is that our numbers are dying. All right, they're dropping every year, and that includes the fact that the girls' numbers are rising, which means that even if you took those out, it would be a greater fall. So if you don't do something to change, things, you're doomed. You're just doomed.
Yet, men's NCAA wrestling is gets the craziest ratings in March.
But why?
Because they're paying.
They're paying for the TV spot,
and they put on a great show. They put on a great production.
Dude, I go every year. I can every year. Like, I've only missed a couple in the past 10 years, and dude, it's the whole. It's amazing. It's amazing. And you could a couple of the years you could see me right there next to the fire. When they're coming out of the tunnel, I'm right there like a teenage girl at a Bieber concert. Yeah, but I just think again, you're preaching to the same people. They're not gonna. It's not gonna survive unless you start getting the TV spots. You start getting the commercials. You start doing those kinds of marketing, because otherwise you're just gonna draw on the same people that you have, and only a select few people really are gonna pay to watch wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Flow Wrestling has the biggest, market share of it, but how many people really pay for a Flow account? I can't tell you how many people actually text me all the time with, "Can I have your Flow account?" And I'm like, "Sorry, I'm watching it." If my kid's not watching it, my daughter's on there. So if you don't change up either the format, something, you're just not gonna, that's why we try to do what we did. I know they were talking about doing it at Beat the Streets once, but I think that's still going to be the best thing.
Well, I think with this one, at least money's going to talk, and it sounds like they're going to try to do a little season out of it, so they're going to get some steady pay coming in that's above and beyond, and letting these guys kind of market themselves, and get that sponsorship, kind of like the UFC started, where if I can go get Milwaukee Tools to give me an extra, $50,000 to put Milwaukee Tools on my singlet, we can.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think too, what we started doing for the elite athletes is we put their social media handle on there. So put it up there, you got to give these guys an opportunity to market themselves. There's so many things that you can do with this. I'll tell you right now, Wayne Boyd, you want some ideas, man? Give me a call. I get some ideas that'll knock your socks off. Clearly, you guys already like what we did. So give me a call. We can freaking grow this thing. That's for sure. But yeah, Wayne Boyd, he used to coach in California, right?
Yeah, he actually was the first, he was the first Titan Mercury wrestling coach. He was coaching Andy's son when he was in high school. Like that's how, and now his son has already graduated college. So that's how long ago. I think it was like 06-ish. Like Wayne was a 2-time NCAA champ from Cal State Bakersfield.
I think back, yeah. Okay, so the Masters champ that I had was Carlos Alanis, and he wrestled the kid from, I think, Palm Springs or Palm Desert or something like that. And I think Wayne was the coach.
Yeah,
there.
he's out that way. He still is out that way.
And he was like, hey, he pulled me over after my kid wrestled his kid. He's like, dude, who goes with your kid? And I was like, just the kids on the team, like, you know. And he's like, you go with them? I go, I periodically go with the kids. I don't like to wrestle with kids. I go, but periodically I'll go with them. And he's like, man, he goes, my kid, he gives me a run. He's, you know, but your kid just handled him. He handled him. And I was like, yeah, you know, he's pretty intense, you know. And he was really complimentary. But that was the first time I met him, and he was just like so cool, like such like an off the wall guy.
He's off the wall. He's got a ton of fire, a ton of heart, though. I mean, if he's passionate about something, he's passionate. That's the good thing, and that's what I think Andy sees in him. You know, like, here, let me give you an idea and give you some support and run with it.
Yeah. So get me and that guy in the same room together. I'll tell you right now, dude. Give us some energy drinks and just let the magic happen. So, but no, I'm still interested though. I mean, even though it's just on Twitter, and I'm still going to support it. It's wrestling, and it supports wrestlers. I'm all for it. And if they get some girls in there, great. You know, but on the other side of it too, I think the thing that they overlook the most, and hopefully they don't overlook it too much, is styles. Yeah, you got the big names, but you get boring matches. You got to have styles. You got to have people that open up, people that, you know, that are going to let it fly. So that's going to be the interesting part of it right there. Will they continue to just go with big names, or will they go with styles? Because that's another thing they could do to giving away too much, man. Wayne's not going to call me. He's going to listen to podcasts. So I don't know.
You're giving away all the juice, man.
Because I got all the answers, right? Yeah, right. I got all the answers, but I like to throw crap on the wall and see what sticks. That's for sure.
You tell us more, buddy. You already told us more than you know.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how we ended up here, right?
Exactly.
You and I were shooting the crap and just decided one day that we're just going to go ahead and attack it. Anyhow, so let me ask you a question, because I see this a lot, and I've seen it recently with a parent that at a tournament. And do you think that obviously coaching girls is there's a difference between coaching girls and coaching boys, but technique wise, do you think that you have to change techniques when you're coaching a girl versus coaching a boy?
No. I mean, there might be certain little tweaks to a technique, like certain things like in some cradles don't work because girls are so flexible. You actually end up too high there's little tweaks to the technique, but like a single leg, a double leg, a high crotch, you know, an arm bar, most of those things are, whether you're wrestling a boy or a girl, is the same in my opinion.
So you think that basically everything you teach a boy should work on a girl at the same percentage rate or whatever? Oh
yeah, I think, you know, a front headlock should be your highest scoring opportunity, whether you're wrestling a boy or a girl. And I don't think, I mean, girls get choked the same as boys do. You know, boys actually have a little extra Adam's apple, but you can still choke girls the same.
More grip on it.
Yeah.
So
what do you think?
There's certain things I stay away from, but I think most of the time too, it's because most of the programs that I coach at, well, I'll say all the programs that I've coached at thus far have been programs that are brand new, or girls that are highly inexperienced when I get there. Not a lot of success. you know, obviously when you get to certain levels, it gets closer. As the higher level of the girl, the more it gets closer to what you would basically teach the boys the whole time. But I stick away from certain positions because when you're starting out, girls don't have like their upper body strength is typically in the lower body. They're hypermobile in their joints and their shoulders and stuff like that, which doesn't always lead to strength. You know, it leads to, you know, some things you got to tweak out. So, you know, let's say for instance a fireman's. Okay, fireman's carry is great move, high percentage move. If you hit it right, there's ways to dump and do some other things with it. But it's not something that I'll tell a girl should be her bread and butter because they don't always have that shoulder strength. Where they're hypermobile, usually there's some weakness there. So there's that.
But I don't know that you would. And if we're talking about beginners, I don't know that you'd take a beginner boy and have them working a fireman's either. You know what I mean? So
what I mean by it though is like if they're both like kind of the same, like in terms of time wise, like where they're higher percentage, a boy's gonna scare, in my opinion, strictly my opinion, a boy is gonna score fireman's on a higher percentage than a girl's gonna score fireman's. You know, I think a low single is something that takes a long time to really get down. And you see the elite girls, the Doys, you know, Miracle. You see a lot of girls. Some of these top girls can score off a low single.
Helen has a decent high thing, a low single.
Yeah. So those girls obviously are, you know, are the outside. But do you see? I mean, do you see a lot of low singles in girls wrestling?
No, but
they don't teach it.
I'm gonna bite my tongue, but I don't see a lot of high level technique from many girls at the local level until you get to that top 5%.
Yeah.
Of girls. You get like the girls that are beginning because there's a learning curve that's a lot longer for girls because we haven't got there yet. The boys start at 5-6 years old. Girls usually decide they want to wrestle maybe if they have an older brother a little sooner, or by the time they get to high school, hey, I want to try this out type thing, you know, where you get those boys, but I mean, we just have a lot more boys starting earlier than girls. So
I don't know though, man. I went out to Girls on the Mat today. I took the drive from Pasadena to Laguna. Went out there.
They came in rolling force yesterday.
Yeah, I saw
Cookie. She had a big. I mean, I want to say she had 12 or 16 people in her bracket, and boys and girls. She lost first round to the kid that won it, who's a stud. I mean, this boy is like legit, and it was a close match. She lost, wrestled all the way back, took third.
Woo!
And I had Fernando and Monica like, hey, she only lost one time. Why'd she get third? She should have got second. And I was like, no, yeah, big bracket. So they were like, oh, okay, it was a bracket, good, because she had a lot of matches because we were doing usually, you know, if we try to do 6 or under, they do round robin, get everyone mat time, right? That's why we take so long at our tournaments. But if you're paying your money, you want to get your money's worth.
Yeah, no, that's what we do. I mean, even in the one that we had like 12 girls in, we could have won a bracket, but we're just like, no, you know what? Just 2 6s. The ones will meet up in the finals and see who wins the bracket. So yeah, no, but yeah. So I mean, there's just that. You know, there's things that I just stay away from earlier on, just because I think there's just certain things that are higher percentage for boys versus girls, and the same with girls. You know, just they have mobility and stuff like that. They both have their strengths, but I just stay away from certain.
Yeah, I mean, all things equal, I guess. I still don't think there's a difference. Like, I don't think I would teach wrestling differently to a girl versus a boy, whether they're a beginner or advanced, because as they get stronger and more advanced, you're going to show pretty much, I mean, we don't show anything tricky. You know, we're not like, I mean, there's a lot of coaches that aren't either. It's not gimmicks. It's fundamentals. It's double, single, high crouch, front headlock. Let's go half armbar, you know, stand up, sit out, and you can win, nationals with just perfecting 1 or 2 of those things. Ask Jordan Burroughs.
No, yeah, no. I mean, that's what I tell people. I go, look, we're not teaching rocket science. You watch any of the girls that I've coached, it's not rocket science. I'll tell you right now.
I think it's harder. Gene's back now. I think we can. Can you
guys hear me?
Unfortunately,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm back.
I think it's harder to teach. Maybe not in other areas, but it's harder to teach girls to be more physical. Boys, it kind of comes natural. I mean, with the testosterone, to be more physical, it seems like you got to teach girls to be physical, like bang on the head, move them. You know, like this is a fight. It's a fight with rules, rather than boys. They're given any excuse they can to go club somebody in the head.
I think it's just because you coach in Orange County, because I've never had a problem.
Probably. I'm sure Bowers.
No, I do. I mean,
Bowers doesn't have any problems either.
But Ramirez has seen me coach from when I was at Panorama. We didn't have any problems there. I actually would kind of laugh because we kind of had a running count, not that the kids knew, but I kind of in my head had a count of how many girls were taking the most points because they were off the whistle. Boom, and it's like, okay, don't cock back, but you can have those hands on them, and yeah, I never had that problem,
Well, I'll agree with Josh on that one because I got a couple of new girls on there and they don't want to land on somebody on a takedown. They fall to their knees right next to the girl, and I'm like, no, you got to land on her. I want to hear her grunt when your weight lands on her. So you did it right when the other girl at the bottom goes, oh, and makes that sound. Then you did it right. Otherwise, don't worry about it. And
I offer them lunch. If your partner throws up on your back because you blasted them, like, you got lunch. I'll pay for it. We're good.
Wait, they're getting a free lunch on their back, you mean?
Yeah, I just give them a straw.
Oh, nice.
Like, ooh, it's a straw, some chopsticks.
Wow.
Yeah, I never have a problem with my girls being physical. So.
Yeah, but once they get that, man, I mean, sky's the limit.
Yeah, I mean, you got two girls up top that could definitely show that.
I will tell you something though. When we demo the crossface, I don't let them do it to anybody but me. I'm the only one that can take Angela's crossface because that thing is vicious. And the first time she did it to me, I didn't show any pain, but dude, I was walking like Frankenstein the next day. I couldn't even move my neck, but I didn't let anybody know.
He's gonna have CTE. He's gonna have had to go through the concussion protocol after Angela did it.
Yeah, and then even the boys, they're like, look, if she hits me hard, you guys got to be able to do it. And she demos. She puts her elbow back and says, wrong. Go right from where you're at forward. Don't cock it back. And she puts a really good work on me all the time, but I'm the only one that can take those. Otherwise, we'd have some kids walking out with neck braces out of practice.
Ramirez puts a mouthpiece in for you. See her dad. When I first saw her dad, I was like, what the hell? Why do they make Mexicans that big? How do you pick strawberries when you're that big? It's so big.
Like, yeah.
Hands come together. Terrible. But yeah. No, yeah.
Now that you described him that way, now I know who her dad is.
Nicest guy in the world too. Like, hands down, the nicest guy. Like,
he was at the Show of Forces Carter one, huh?
Yes.
Okay, I definitely know.
Yeah. And he wrestled at Monroe too, back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And his brother wrestled at Monroe as well. So, and they're both like really big guys. I mean, I'm a double X, so I'm wide as it is. They're wider than me.
But you're wide down here though. Just kidding. Ramirez actually lost some weight like over the summer, dude. He's been like fitting it up. Are you still on that diet you were doing?
Dude, all I did was give up bread, and it was only 7 pounds. So
yeah, okay, it's tortillas.
No tortillas. No, like I cut all that stuff down, and it was 7 pounds like that, and that was it. No more weight loss after that. So I said, 7 pounds, it's worth having bread. So I'm back on bread.
You could have got no bread in the jog in the last 14.
That's too much work. That's too much work.
Yeah, no, man. Our reconstructed ankle, arthritis in the other one. I can't run no more. So now it's all about the bike.
Terrible. Hey, just put the seat on next time. So, Josh, we're supposed to talk about tournaments today.
Oh.
So, tournament schedules. Now,
November 17th, Valley Girl Rumble.
Is that going to be a varsity again, or is it going to be like lower level?
Well, here's the discussion that I'm having, and I'd like to bring it up with you guys, is we don't have a division called JV for girls. When we duel, it's varsity boys, JV boys, and varsity girls. Um, and if you go on the California Wrestling Forum, you'll see that I didn't put the word JV on there at all because I believe if a girl gets a head-to-head at a varsity tournament, it could. Let's say we get a Santa Ana girl come, and then we get another girl from from the southern section, and they're fighting for a third, a fourth position for seeding in their section. Wouldn't that kind of count?
Yeah, I mean, any head-to-head count.
Right. So, but there's coaches that are going to argue and say, well, that was a JV tournament, so it shouldn't count. There's always those coaches, Ramos.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is that I don't want to call it that because they could have an incoming 8th grader that's now a 9th grader that, will make an impact in the top 8, let's say for Southern section. So I didn't want to call it that. And then we might get another girl that's in the same weight class and they want to go at it. And let's get that one out of the way and no one can argue. Now I saw that there's a lot of other ones. They're calling them JV. I don't think we should do that just of yet. Until we actually get a JV official division, and we can call it second woman type tournaments and stuff like that. But I think, like on my tournament, I want to make it count because we got a lot of good talented girls that are coming in and they haven't had that high school. And you obviously, as a coach, you don't want your incoming freshman to go to a tournament and get, they'll probably seed her a little bit better, but be on the side of the bracket of the number 1 and could possibly see them right away.
Well, I think it's going the wrong way personally. I think it's fine to leave it as call it whatever you want because it doesn't matter if you meet somebody at a dual meet or you meet somebody at a tournament. It doesn't matter. Head to head is a head to head. I mean, okay, Josh wrestled at Calvary, okay, a very successful program, and in Apple Valley, very successful programs. JVs from that school start anywhere else. So if they have to go to a JV tournament, which they would send them to a varsity tournament, but still. A head-to-head is a head-to-head. It doesn't matter where it occurs. A head-to-head is a head-to-head. It doesn't.
Yeah, in-season head-to-head versus head-to-head is definitely now. That's the question. So some of these varsity tournaments, I understand you're paying for a full team. Let's just say you have a full team and you want to pay for a full team. Do you, especially if you don't have the extra coaching staff, do you take a full 14 girls to a varsity tournament, even though some girls may not be ready? Does it water down the tournaments? I know some tournaments are asking they're only like true varsity. Like our tournament, we just asked for no B girls unless you call and talk to me and say, this B girl is a legit, like she just can't beat the girl who's ranked 3rd in state. Okay, bring her,
Yeah. So no, I think you're right. Like it depends on the tournament. If I'm going to Napa, I'm not taking my first year wrestler to Napa. Even though Napa has like a hard luck bracket and stuff like that, I'm not gonna spend the money. It's gonna water down the bracket. You could take the spot from a girl who legitimately should be there. I'm not gonna want to do that. But yeah, it just depends on the tournament. It really does. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe just like having the stipulation, like I write on mine. If you look at the post, it just says, Valley Girl Rumble, no CIF placers. So they could have a girl who is a 9th grader or a 10th grader. She did 1 year. She wasn't too successful. She didn't qualify or place at Masters and Southern section, but she's up and coming. So you want to give her a confidence booster where she could be kind of maybe at her level or maybe above her level. And then you can gauge right away what she's going to do this season. That's why I kind of like having mine right in the beginning. So all these coaches that have these new girls that just walk onto the mat, they want to gauge whether I have an actual wrestler or do I have an elite wrestler that will go to Josh's tournament next weekend because they're saying, hey, this is the it girl right now.
Well, my understanding was last year you had some girls that won their section in your tournament, didn't they?
We had one that snuck in there. One of the coaches put one in there. By the time I found out about it, you know, it was already too late in the tournament. She was already in the semis. So we were hoping for an upset, you know, well, I was, you know, but it didn't happen, you know. Yeah. My first year, we had a couple coaches show up with some, but I picked those up right away. And I told them, sorry, they, you know, when I was putting them in the computer, and I was like, no, this girl can't, man. She placed last year. And, you know, we had the computer there, so we were able to look it up right away. For some reason, I personally take responsibility for that one. Because I didn't pick up on that one.
Yeah, no, and you had nice awards last year. I will say, like, thinking about going to the Valley Rumble, nice awards. They were
the medals are a little bit bigger this year. They have a girl on them. It's a little different. I'm spending the money. I'm not making money. It's all about getting these girls that are brand new. Keep them wrestling. Make sure they we end up seeing them down at the end of the season in February, you know? So it's giving them awards. What do we have? We had the backpacks that WrestleMart gave us. WrestleMart gave us 3 $50 gift certificates for our MVPs. What else did we have? First, third, second place Crystal team trophies. They also got awards. We fed the coaches. We had a sponsor for the meal and everything like that as well. And this year we got some guy that's going to make me some stuff to give out, I think, which I have to meet with this guy, you know, to get those 14 awards going. You know,
one thing is Wrestling Mart is really awesome in giving away stuff. Like, I mean, they really are awesome.
No, they are. When we started doing the draft duels, Wrestling Mart gave us, we had an award for the freestyle session, because we do a folk style draft duel and a freestyle draft duel, and they gave us $100 gift card to whoever had the most 5-point moves. Woo! Kirsten Bush lit it up. I think she had 4 matches, and I think she had like 14 or 15 5-point moves. God, she was taking girls for rides. So
she wanted that prize.
Oh, dude, it was such a good award. I think we're gonna bring it back, even if it costs.
No, let me put it this way. I mean, I contacted them out of the blue. My tournament was in its second year. You know, I didn't expect them to, you know, step up. When I showed up to WrestleMart and I said, yeah, I'm here to pick up my certificates, you know, that they told me they'd give me. There was a banner and a big giant box, and the certificates were inside. And when I opened the box, they gave me these blue championship backpacks, 14 of them. And I was like, what? You know, and I thought that was awesome. That was awesome.
No, they're good guys, dude, for sure. And I like them a lot. And I always deal with Gary when I'm there. I talk to Nathan when I'm there too, but Gary's the guy that I usually talk to when I'm there. So
James Ray is the guy I talk to.
So yeah, good guys over there for sure. Yeah. But what about for you, Josh? What about your tournament? What awards are you guys looking at this year?
We always do custom medals, custom team awards. We're trying to get them bigger and better, like always, but you know, try to keep that, order them early enough and price them, you know, like where we're not rushing, because that's what the shipping is, what kills you if you don't get them, because all the cast ones need to come from overseas, otherwise you're paying $14 a medal. But the custom acrylic ones, those are kind of cool. They do those in the States. We're trying to work on a couple things to keep it under. I think it needs to be under like $100 value per CIF rules. I think it's 75 or 100. We're trying to keep it somewhere. We'll retail it at $74.99. Keep it legal. We'll sell one on eBay for $74.99.
So let's move on to this then. So we're going to be doing our rankings. Okay. I was trying to find at least 2 tournaments in the north, 2 tournaments in the south, maybe one in that middle somewhere. But the ones that I came up with, and I talked to Mario about the north because I haven't been up there in a long time to see everything. I haven't had a chance to go through the brackets because I can't find a lot of them. They're hard to come by. But the 2 that I would say we should take into account for our rankings In the South, I would say Corona. I would say La Puente. I would say Esperanza. Those would probably be the three strongest ones.
And Carter's tough. It's just so early in the season. It's like everyone's not at their fighting weight, so you don't really know.
That's exactly why I didn't put them on the list, because it is Nails tournament, but nobody's going to really be at weight at that point. I figure out your tournament last year with all the tough girls you guys had, girls chasing down girls, trying to get matches back, that kind of stuff, which I hope would happen more. Which I think we'll see more too if we use the ranking system we're going to use, where if you forfeit, it's a loss and that kind of stuff. You're going to see girls going after each other a lot more. Up north, I would think Napa, of course. Mario said Brittany David, and I would say the TOC, those three. So if girls want to get ranked, by our rankings, then they definitely want to make sure that they hit those ones up. What do you think, Gene? Any of those that you think?
The fur Matt's one, Lady Cavalier, at the end of the season. I mean, that's a really good one. I've gone to it many years, and it's just gotten better every year. The competition, that's a real good one, and that's a true weight, and that's your southern section, your true hitters that are going to make an impact at CIF. All are there.
Yeah, and he's like, him and Josh run into the same issue because their tournaments are so late in the season. You wonder if you're gonna see the wrestlers at the tournament, and Matt does a great job. He does a really good job running tournaments. But I mean, it's the same thing there too. It's just in going through the brackets, I think Josh had more state placers and stuff like that.
And TOC is the same time as La Puente, isn't it? Same day.
Yeah, but that's why we did it too. Is we're figuring like not everybody's going to make the trip from the north down, so getting them on the same weekend and seeing where girls fall and stuff like that. Hopefully, there'll be some crossing over with some of the other tournaments. But I mean, we end up in a situation where a girl wins that one, the girl wins this one. I personally, if everything ended up like the same it was last year, the girl who wins La Puente is probably going to have the higher seed because the TOC didn't have the depth, But it sounds like this year, like it's growing, so that's, I think, going to be a good thing for sure.
Yeah, we were between TOC and that one, and the girl said, Angela and Christina said, "I want a belt," so I said, "All right, let's go for it."
Yeah, so that should be fun. What do you think, Josh?
I think those are the kind of couple top tournaments at the right time to base rankings off of. And of course, we'll get some odd head-to-heads at different tournaments throughout the season. I think the South seems to do a better job of posting tournament results than the North. I don't know if they're on somebody's software or where they go, or if they just don't post them. But maybe we care about rankings more than they do up there. I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing too. It's we need people to post brackets. That's the biggest thing. How the wins are going down, how dominant these people are, that kind of stuff. If we end up something where it's just, two girls with similar credentials, well, then show us their body, show us, how the matches go down. Somebody's going out there and just murking people. If you text somebody in the first period, that's pretty impressive. Like if you have a similar opponent, one of them squeaks out a win, one of them texts the girl in the first period. It's like could be styles, but you got to have something to go off of. You know what I mean?
So who takes all the information and creates the rankings, let's say, for CIF State? I mean, obviously they only do the number 1 and the number 2, right? Mm-hmm. Or do they do something else to make sure that this girl's at this side?
Nope. 1 and 2.
There's nothing. Just 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2, and basically it's all the information they have at their hands is all they're using. There's not like a research committee going out to try to figure it out.
And who's they?
I don't know who they are, Ramos. Who is they?
Nah, they is the entity that nobody really speaks up on that I remember. So I'm learning not to say names too, because every time I say a name, people get upset. So I try not to out anybody or anything. But yeah, as far as I know, though.
Okay, so I can tell you this: Mike Duran is not on that committee.
Yeah, as I say,
He's not on the ranking committee. I remember hearing the names, but it's a Northern California guy, and somebody else. I don't know who.
Yeah.
Maybe Mario would know.
Yeah.
Bowers would probably know.
Yeah. No, there's a committee of them, and they do go through it and stuff, and they don't really care, to be honest. They go off of what they know, and people scramble, and there's always somebody at the end. Oh, we beat this girl at this tournament, and it's like, tournament's not turned in. You didn't turn it in. It just is what it is. If you don't turn in so if they posted up those brackets throughout the year, there would be no confusion at the end of the year. People complain and bitch and moan every time. Oh, my girl got screwed, or these girls got screwed, or they screwed up this bracket. It's like, well, if you don't turn anything in, they got nothing to go off of. So stop complaining. So, but
is Rick still the Southern Section guy that does the rankings?
Rick said he retired.
Oh yeah, who took over?
Red guess as good as ours. I saw those amazing ones done for LA City section, dude. And I'm like, man, somebody put some work into this.
Well, we had a lot of movement going on, from one school to another. So I had to make some decisions. So as to, does the girl who has been at that weight at that school the longest keep it, or does she get bumped by the other girl? But then again, we can't have two girls from the same school be 1 and 2 at the same weight. So then I just, I know the tendencies of some schools not to, like I say, they have too much dressing instead of salad. And so, I had to make the moves. So, but by the end of the season, I'll have it right. We were pretty spot on. I think there was only like 2 weight classes where we had some upsets, in our section. So, but for the most part, my rankings came out spot on, and I tweaked them a little bit this year with the tournaments and giving the tournament certain values. Mm-hmm. But there's still some tournaments out there that I still don't know much about. But we can only go off of what I've seen in the past in our section go to. So I can say, if you go to this tournament, okay, you've been there. All right, so let me keep my eye on this tournament. There's some tournaments that they don't go to, and then it affects them.
All right. Last question on tournaments I'm going to ask you guys. How do you guys feel about these schools that have girls tournaments and send their girls nowhere? I mean, there's some schools that are holding multiple girl tournaments. You don't see their girls anywhere. I mean,
that's odd.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more likely to avoid those tournaments, to be quite honest with you, because I'm just like, why would I support you? You're not even supporting the girls. You're using the girls to support the boys team. You don't even support your girls. I don't know. Maybe I look into it a little bit too deep, but for me,
no. I mean, I think the coaches, for most part, they want to be coaches. They want to strategize. They want to protect. That type of thing, and that's part of the game. The strategy part. Sometimes it hurts a tournament if nobody goes to it, and which affects all the other girls. Let's say if you have a top girl, but you're like, I'm not going to go to that tournament, and no one ever gets to see her until the end of the year.
I think he's talking about
anywhere. Like, they don't support their girls. They use their girls because they have a girls team. They have 2 girl tournaments throughout the season, but you don't see they don't send their girls anywhere. They don't send them to tournaments on their own.
So they're just using the girls tournaments as a
fundraiser. Yeah, and they don't send their girls out. You just never.
Sounds like a good idea. It's a lot less work.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the parents don't know what's going on or something. I don't know, but I see that from a couple schools, and I'm like, you got a full team. You got 20, 30 girls. How come we don't see your girls anywhere? And you have an extremely successful boys program. How come we don't see your girls anywhere? And I see it, and it gets me to shake my head. So I don't know. makes me less, energetic to recommend those tournaments to anybody. No, not that one, obviously.
I saw it because I'm on my computer, so I got to see it. I saw that one.
Yeah. So I just told you who comes to mind for me. Oh. But yeah. So
I'll have to look out.
Oh yeah, I mean, you go to the Backets, you could tell me if you see him anywhere.
Okay.
You don't. It's just like
Well, the one that you just mentioned, I did see him. But not at the tournaments.
Yeah, and how many times too?
Yeah, exactly. Too,
Once like, oh, here's a bone. So anyhow. All right, fellas. Well, Josh, cue up the music. We're gonna get wrapped up. Again, if anybody is listening, please subscribe. Give us 5 stars, all that good stuff. Google Play, iTunes, all that good stuff. YouTube.
My clothing line will be out shortly. Yeah. Don't forget. Very more. Valley Grow Rumble, November 17th. Bring in people.
Everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.